Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. It's been an exciting morning around here because it's trash day. Man, I almost didn't get the trash taken out to the curb because another big thunder boomer last night. Man. But I watched Joanne this morning and she says that we shouldn't have as many storms or shouldn't have any storms today. Uh, just a bunch of heat, high humidity, all that good stuff. And it really, you think, well, the rain helps cool it off. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. It does drop the temperature, but then it's just like freaking sauna after it stops raining. So, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm not complaining. Let's take a look, see who we got hanging out with us. Y'all hitting the thumbs up over there? All right, let's get after it. We got Troy Pritchard. He said, good morning, everybody. Thumbs up. Happy hump day. Thank you, Troy. Good morning to you. Paul Stewart's here. He's hitting that thumbs up, I bet. Heck yeah. Thank you, Paul. Larry Galt's here. Says, good morning. Happy hump day. I've been flocking. This morning. Finishing up Niece's bandsaw box. Awesome. You'll have to share some pictures with us, Larry. There's that Mark Lindsay guy. He's got the coffee brewing, he says. Good morning, Mark. There's Jesse from JJ Woodshop. How you doing this morning, Jesse? There's Janet. How you doing, Janet? Hope all is well. Up there in Hoosier Land. Let's see. Matt, awesome wood things, Haas says, no work for me today. So I'm drinking coffee and watching Dave. Man, I think you said that just the other day. What's going on here? And if you're not at work, you probably need to get out there and finish that Gatton bill. I've been anxiously anticipating the next video release. I haven't seen it yet. Gary Hammett's here. Good morning, Gary. My favorite solar man is here, Mr. Ryan Ballard. Malcolm Cook is here this morning. How you doing? Kevin Els says, hello all. Some useless information. Hey, that's what this show's about. Some of us older folk here in South Africa still refer to Wednesday as Klein Saturday. Probably mispronounced that. Directly translated, it means small Saturday. Interesting. I wouldn't call that useless information. That might help you win on Jeopardy someday. You never know. Probably won't help me because I'd forget it by the time I ever get to Jeopardy. I'll take useless information for 1,000, Alex. Thanks for sharing that with us, Kevin. We like useless information. That's pretty much what I provide here. Bart Bixel says, hello, everyone. Happy hump day. Yep. Wild Bill Harrison's here. Good morning, Bill. Hope you're doing well this morning. Mark says, coffee's done. Very tasty waking up so I can go start hanging the shit. Yeah, you don't need to tell us what you're going to be doing. We know what you're going to be doing. I saw the pictures with all that stuff leaning up against the wall. I know what you're going to be doing today. So get after it. Get her done. Carrie Van Ever's here. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Good to see y'all here on the coffee sessions. Jack is such a beggar. He knows that I've got one of these left. He's already had the first two. I wish I should have a camera. You're not going to be able to see the. Well, yeah, maybe. I'll see if I can show you what he's doing. He's such a beggar. No, that's where am I at? I'm on the wrong. I click on the wrong thing. Now it'll probably move before I. Let's see if you can see. See, look at him. He's right here. He knows Daddy's got another cookie right there. He's so spoiled. Now maybe he'll sit down. I think he must count them. He must be able to smell them and know, hey, yeah, there's still one up there. He's too smart for his own good sometimes. Anyway, let's see what we're going to talk about today. I got a few things to talk about, mostly useless information, like what Kevin was saying. I had a great morning yesterday, finished up the coffee sessions, and made it back to fire station number 12 and got to meet my heroes again. David Boltice, which was the paramedic. He was the guy who kept shoving the nitro in my tongue. And Justin Ellis, he was the one driving like Steve McQueen to get me to the hospital. So, yeah, I got to talk with those guys for, I don't know, probably 30 minutes or so. I didn't want to keep, I didn't want to keep them too long, but had a good visit. It's good to see him. I almost thought I missed him again because as I was on the way over there, I don't know how far, probably more than halfway there. And I see an ambulance coming towards me on the other side of the road. And I'm like, oh, nuts. That's probably them. I probably missed them. But it wasn't, they didn't have the lights or anything on, no sirens or lights. It was just driving down the road. So I thought, well, maybe that wasn't it. Maybe that was a different one. And then when I got to the station, and of course, this, it's the shift change. So it's different, a whole bunch of different guys than I saw yesterday. And he said, yeah, you just missed them. They run down the road. But he said, if you want to wait 5 or 10 minutes, they'll be back because they're just running down to the dollar store to get something. So, yeah. So I waited a few minutes, got to talk to some of the other guys there. And I found out, because I mentioned to him when I was there the first day, and I was talking to one of the fellows, and I said, I know you're not terribly far from me. I says, but it seems like, there's surely a fire station that's physically closer to my house than this one. And they go, yeah, I told them my address. They said, yeah, you're right. You'd be in this other thing. He says, but probably what happened is the two other ones that were closer must have been out on a call or something. So then they, whenever one's busy, they go to the next closest one. So anyway, that's how they come to take the call. And I'm glad they did. But anyway, that was good going over there. And then I got to come back, and of course by then it was 90 degrees, feels like 100 and something. But I got to cut up some plywood because I was all out of blanks. I used up the last one. Cut up some of that $high plywood. But did try out my new DeWalt circular saw, the one that I replaced, because my Porter cable crapped out. And I can give you a little coffee session review on that, I guess. Of course, it's going to cut pretty good because it's a brand new saw. And I put I didn't use the blade that came with it. It's like a 24 tooth DeWalt blade, which I'm sure would cut other stuff fine, but for plywood, I like to use the Diablo 60 tooth blade. And one of them still on that old Porter cable. I haven't taken it off, but it's been on there a while and it's cut a bunch of plywood. But when I bought them, I had a 2-pack, so I had a brand new 62 Diablo blade that I put on there. Cut through that plywood like butter. I ain't kidding. It went through like butter. Seemed really smooth. Seemed easier to push through the stuff. It's got a aluminum plate versus the stamped steel. So I think that makes it slide across the whatever you're cutting much easier. But one thing I did notice is it's not just aluminum, it's shiny aluminum. So when you're out in the sun, I had trouble trying to see my line because the sun kept hitting that plate and it would just shoot a big shiny spot back in your face. So that I guess if you're cutting on a cloudy day, it'd be fine. But you get out there when the sun's right overhead, it makes it a little tough. And I could have put my easy up thing, I guess. I haven't put that up all year. But anyway, cut nice. And one thing I really liked about it, because when I'm short arms, everything. So when I cut plywood, I can't reach all the way across to the 40, the whole 48 inches. So I usually start out with my right hand, cut a little bit just to get it going. And then I stop and I move over and then I take my left hand because I can see the line better from that side. And then I go like this as far as I can reach, and I can get all but about that much. And then I walk around the other side and grab it and just go that way. But one thing I did notice is that the dust, I don't know what I should call it, dust extraction or what, but the way it blows the dust out on the old Porter cable, it kind of shot it to the side, but mostly back at you. And so when you're cutting with your right hand, it's fine because it's throwing all the stuff over this way. But when you move over to the left, you're right in the line of fire of that stuff. But the DeWalt seemed to throw it directly to the side because because usually with the Porter cable, I would be covered up with stuff. But yeah, so I think I'm going to like it. I think it's going to do a good job. And I'm sure it's going to get a chance to cut lots of plywood. So I don't even know the model number. I didn't write it down or anything, but I would say if you're looking for a circular saw, that would be a pretty good choice. Not super expensive. I mean, you should know that or I wouldn't have bought it. Carries on the holidays. Hot diggity. That sounds like a good deal there. Janet says, Jack is sitting so pretty. Yeah, he can count. Yeah, he's sitting down now. He's not bothering me at all. He's like, yep, that's it. He had 3 of them. But he'll pester me till he gets all of them. Ryan says he gets to haul his new camper today. All right. Now it'll make it worth all that work you had to do in that video the other day. Good deal. Bruce Foley is here. Good morning, Bruce. Jesse's got a plan for the day. He says, I'm going to try to put my router table attachment on my table saw. Well, I got to tell you, Jesse, I built a homemade, and I got a video out showing how I did it, but I built just a 2x4 frame and a router table, out of plywood and stuff, and made my own router lift and all that. And that worked great. But one of the best things I've done is buy one of those Jessup or Jessam. I think it's Jessam. They're made in Canada. Router lifts. And then I put that on a piece of plywood and put it in the wing I call it the wing. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to call it, but that empty hole part on the right side of my rigid R4512. And I love having that there because now I've got, because it was just a hole before that didn't even have anything in there, no steel panels or nothing. So now I've got more space to stack stuff when I'm doing it, but it's just so much nicer than the other one. The other one always it's full of stuff again now. But I did build that one. It sits right next to my miter saw. So I built I built the router table first. And then when I got ready to set the miter saw up, I made sure that the level was where it could shoot straight across. So it serves as a support for my any long boards that I'm trying to cut with a miter saw. Let's see who else we got here. Darren Birds is here. Good morning, Darren. George Rothfuss is here this morning. How you doing, George? Hope all is well. I know we have we got a few CNC guys that watch the coffee session, so I'll tell you something I was thinking about. I was out there in the garage shop, not this shop, but the other one, the CNC shop, I guess I should call it, because that's there he says I put one on both ends of my 4512, but I have a reason for having the left side. Well, I guess if you've got two routers and two router lifts and you're doing some kind of projects where it's more efficient to keep, one set up with like maybe a round over or something, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm all about having multiple things and then leaving them set up to do one little task. Sometimes that works out good. Hey, there's my buddy Juan over on Facebook. How you doing, Juan? Good to see you. John LaCourse is here. How you doing, John? Good to see you. Got some new folks straggling in here on the coffee sessions. I don't know if that's, we're not supposed to have any rain today, or they said, just a rare chance of a little shower or something, but I hear stuff on the roof. I hope it's just the water blowing off those trees. I think that's what it is, because there is a little bit of a breeze out there. But let's see here. Grant Clark is here this morning. How you doing, Grant? Marcello says he's late. Well, that's all right. Just hit the thumbs up and we'll be okay. So Mark says, when I switch to a spindle, I'm putting my Porter cable 890 in my router table. Okay. Do you have one in your router table now, or? I still haven't replaced that other switch, because I told you when I took that router out of there, all of a sudden it was working. It's either that or that's not where the bad one was. I'm pretty sure it was. I know that's not the bad one that's in my thing there, because I reached under there and flipped that one on and off. I don't know. Love my Porter cable routers though. And I still have that what is it? I think it's a 7850. It's that big old honking thing. It's way bigger than the 690 and the 890. It's not a 3.5 body. It's huge and heavy and blows stuff everywhere. You think these 690 and 890s blow chips everywhere? That thing was crazy. Let's see. Larry says, I installed the Incra fence system, and in order to use it with the router, it works best on the left. Ah, okay. Yeah, 7580. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Mark says I have a 1.5 Craftsman router and a table saw now, but works, but it's a pain to swap bits on. Yeah. Well, you know, my little router table that I keep in the garage, it's just some, I don't even know the brand. It was just some cheap one I bought from Lowe's or, I don't know, maybe Home Depot or something. And I think when I bought it, it came with a router. It's got a Ryobi router on it. And it's, you know, yeah, it's like that one. It's a real pain to get up under there to try to, you know, it doesn't crank up or nothing. It's just, I mean, it does a little bit, but not much. So it's a real pain to change the bit. So I just leave it in the garage and use it to knock the tabs off the parts. And it has a 3/8 inch plus trim bit, the one with the bearing on the top. And I just leave that in there. Yeah, it works good for that. Makes it real easy. I can take, you know, knock all the parts out with my little oscillating tool, and then just in a minute or two hit all the tabs, get them nice and flush. So it works well. Seems like I had something else I was going to talk about, but as usual, I didn't write it down, so I don't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come to me. Oh, Janet, dadgummit, don't tell me that. It says, drove past your old house on the way to New Winchester yesterday, and it didn't look like anybody was living in it. Well, you know, I'm trying to remember. It may be 2 years now. I think it's probably been less than a year. Every once in a while, I get on there and I just look. And sure enough, I got on there and looked, and it was for sale. And I thought, man, I would love to have that house. But anyway, and they had all kinds of pictures because the people that were selling it had done a bunch of remodeling. It's way nicer than when I lived in there. Of course, that was, you know, eons ago. But anyway, I contacted the what do you call it, the real estate person. And sure enough, he says, yeah, it's for sale, but right now it's under contract. I said, well, let me know what happens. And sure enough, that contract went through and somebody bought it. So if there's nobody in, now you dadgummit, Janet, now I'm going to have to go look. Good morning, Sandy. Sandy is here on Facebook. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Mark Lindsay says, I have a flush trim bit, 1 horsepower rigid trim router for trimming tabs. It works great. Yeah, I really should, and I may have one over there. I don't know. But I know the smart thing to do is to buy the 1/4 inch one and put it in one of them smaller things and just use that to take the tabs off and and cut them out at the same time. But I'm just not that smart. I like putting heavy tabs on mine, so when I pull them off, I can just stack these blanks up that are already cut And it doesn't take but just a minute or two to knock them out with that oscillating tool. But yeah, now I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. Maybe they were just gone at work. Because I think it's probably only been a year or so since I was since I'd done that. But that's probably the only place I'd ever move back there. If I could get that house. So Grant says, "Are you still using the flying sim?" I haven't done a simulated flying thing in months. It's not something I want to do when the weather's nice and I can get out and do work outside or in the shop, stuff like that. But it's still on the computer, and every once in a while I'll open it up just so it can catch up with the updates and stuff. But I kind of got turned off. I was real excited about it. It was a lot of fun when I first started doing it. But then I bought a one of the third party planes, which was a Mooney. And right after I bought it, it wouldn't work. There was some kind of bug, and they took forever to fix it. And I think it's fixed now. But by then I was like, eh. So Mark says, "You'd move from the land of Shane's barbecue to the frigid polar region of Indiana. If I could get that house, I would." Uh-oh. No curtains in the windows and didn't see any cars. Of course, it was a 60-mile-per-hour drive. Okay, you do know for sure which house was where I grew up. I'm sure you probably do. I may have shown pictures on here before. Now you're gonna make me look. We only got a couple minutes left. I don't know how to find it quickly. Because I don't, that back when I lived there, the address was Rural Route 2. So you put RR2, Box 49A. Of course, nobody uses those kind of address. It's got some 4 or 5 digit street number now, I think. I'll look it up. Dadgummit, Janet. I'm going to have to look it up. But anyway, just to confirm that it was the house, if you're you're driving west on 36 and you start going up what I used to think was a big hill, but now that I'm older and drive out there, it's not really that big a hill. You start going up a hill. You've got what used to be the Rainbow Motel, which is now some kind of apartments or something, right there on the right. And you go up the hill. The old abandoned house that's dilapidated and all grown up, immediately on the left as you go, it's kind of like right across the street from the Rainbow Motel. That was Jack Johnson's house. And then the very next house on the left, kind of at the top of the hill. It's not all the way to the top of the hill, but that house on the left was it. And it has what do you call it? Detached, or it has a separate garage. The garage is not attached to the house. That stupid thing. I can never figure out how to get that thing shut off fast. But yeah, I will check it out. Pretty sure two-tone light brick. Yeah, it's a gray and white. And it's that Miami stone is what it's made from. It's kind of like brick, but it's Miami stone. And the house just next to it, going west, is where the Paytons used to live. Well, it started out as my grandmother's house back when I first lived there. Then she decided she was going to move on to Florida. She had enough of Indiana winter, so she went to Florida. And then Andy Durbin, I don't know if you know Andy Durbin, Andy and Hollis, his son Andrew Durbin and his family, I think he had a wife and a couple of kids. They bought it and lived there for a while, and then they moved out, and then the Paytons lived there. And I don't have any idea who lives there now. But anyway. All right, she says that's the one. Well, I'm going to have to look now. I probably wouldn't be able to afford it now, though, because I think houses and everything have gone sky high. So I'm not really in the position to do like I was before. So, but I'll have to look. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Everybody have an awesome hump day. I'm going to try to shoot a little video today, I think. Because I haven't shot any yet, and it's Wednesday, so I got to get cracking here. So, anyway, everybody have a good hump day. You can come back and join us tomorrow. Hit the thumbs up on the way out if you haven't already. And we will see you tomorrow on, well, we'll call it Friday Eve. All right, see y'all.